how's it going?
I'm good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. What's going on?
Everything is great. It's been a long time.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Where are you?
Well, I'm just rolling around. What you up to?
Why don't you come over and have coffee with me?
Sure, let's do it.
Great. I'll see you in a bit.
Yalla, see you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's
How
good
are
to
you?
be here.
Oh my God. It's been a long time,
It's
right?
been a very long time, yes.
Very
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. But
Mm.
أنا ما راح أسوي لك القهوة.
أوف.
فشنو رأيك؟ شايف أنت الأغراض كلها متجهة لعندك.
نعم.
معناته أنت بتسوي قهوتك مع الباريستا مالتنا مجدلين.
يا مرحبا.
أهلا وسهلا فيك.
شو الضيافة،
شفت بالله؟
شو الكرامة، ما شاء الله.
الله يخليكم، أهلا وسهلا، حياكم.
مجدلين.
اوكي
يلا.
ماذا أفعل؟
شوي صوت، تفضل.
Give it to the guests with your right hand.
Let's go to our little chit chat.
Yalla, let's talk. I have energy. Let's go. شكرا.
Thank you.
شكرا، أهلا وسهلا.
أشكرك.
مشكورين.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
I know, right?
glad to be here.
Me too. I'm so happy you're here, and I'm happy that you're having your coffee with me.
Of course.
I remember, I think, was it 2018? We did 2 movies together. That's what I recall. Was
Mariam, yes.
and The Cold for AFS.
The call, yes.
And I was an actress in both movies, and you were an assistant director at that
Assistant
time.
director, yeah.
I know that you both now. You're directing.
Yeah, I try to do both, because I have the skill set of directing, and then assistant directing is more for income rather than, me venturing as a director to.
I think that's the right way. But you know what? I know you, Aiham, through work as an assistant director. You create your own shows as well. I know that. You directed one of your movies, which is really awesome, was in YFS as well.
Al-Qadimun,
Al-Qadimun.
or forthcoming in English.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, proud of that one.
But I want to go back to Aiham way back.
Way back.
Because
Okay.
I don't know you at that time, obviously.
Okay. Sure.
So I want to know, was it something that أنت كنت حاب أصلاً تسويها يعني لما كنت صغير في مجال يعني filmmaking or
يعني how way back are we talking about?
child?
Okay. أنا أتذكر إن الوالدة قالت لي يمكن من 2 أو 3 شهور كنا نتكلم إن يعني I asked her what kind of child was I? Was I always crying? Was I always making, ضجة في البيت? She said, no, you were very calm as long as you had your toys. And I would have action figures. And she said you would be playing for hours, creating scenes with all these figures. And I remember, of course, a little bit that, there'd be an army here, and then there'd be the hero and the person he's saving, and then the main bad guy. So I think storytelling with action figures was something I used to do as a child, and now as a grown 32-year-old man, I'm still directing, but no longer toys, human beings, and there's a camera and we're creating. So the imagination was always there, but how I got to that road to where I am now is a different story. Yeah.
I would love to hear that story.
Okay, we're going way back.
Way back.
Okay, I'll try to.
It's not like you're too old when I say way back, but just let's say.
Let's see. My brothers studied at AUS, and they were doing media and mass communication. They had to do films, and I was, I think, 13 maybe at that point, 13, 14. And I was now that I know what the role was, I was doing everything production, managing, assistant directing, props. I was doing it all because it was my brother and then me doing everything around.
Okay, you were helping him out.
I was
with the
helping him,
project.
and he would be yelling out stuff at me like, "Go pick up the sand and drop it in front of the camera. Go get the weapons in
yeah,
here.
that is
Go,
cool.
yeah, call this guy, make sure he's awake." So, I think from that point, I had an interest in it. And then 2001, I think, came, and The Matrix came out.
Okay.
And The Matrix was a turning point for me. If I had to choose one film that I absolutely love, and by the way, I had just figured this out last night because I was with a friend and he asked me, "What's your favorite film?" And I told him, "You have to pick a genre because I have so many love for the." He's like, "No. What's the one film deep down inside you know?" I was like, "Matrix." Because once Matrix came out, I picked up a camcorder. I got 4 or 5 of my friends, dressed them up all cool, started shooting them action scenes, making sounds with my mouth for camera movements like transitions,
Okay.
slow motion. I would tell them to move slowly and I'd move the camera in. So yeah, at that point I knew that I had love for filmmaking. But I think love for acting was stronger.
You're an actor.
Yes,
too.
because I'm an actor. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I
so
try to
wow.
act in at least like 1 or 2 funny ads a year. Try to get into those Hollywood films when they come to be an extra, just to be in there. So my love for acting was there, and I wanted to be an actor. And I wanted to be an actor because one, I loved portraying different characters, and I would always portray characters growing up to my family. And 2, I wanted to be famous as a kid. Yeah,
Okay.
fame was a motivation for me. Fast forward, finished high school, and wanted to pursue acting, but there was nothing for me to start to study acting at that time here or around that was worth. And obviously, like university, getting an acting degree won't help you in life, طبعاً. So I studied in Australia, and I studied creative media, and filmmaking was under creative media.
Okay.
Finished that, studied a lot of theory in university, as you do in university. Came back here in 2012, and then I had to find a job, so I started working in Dubai Metro as a metro station manager.
That's totally different.
Completely
Has
nothing to do with filming at all. But I needed a job, and that was the first job I can get. I started working there for about 6-7 months, and I found myself, because this was in Dubai, I found myself finishing work in Dubai and driving all the way to Abu Dhabi just so I can act for films of students from New York Film Academy. That it was still open back then. And then they noticed my acting passion, and they gave me a 2-week acting program scholarship.
Okay.
So I did that, and while I was there, I got to know people at New York Film Academy, and then I was lucky enough to be offered a scholarship to study a 1-year filmmaking program with New York Film Academy. And I believe that that's where I got all of my practical work. From day one, they put a camera in your hand, and a month later, you have to shoot 4 different videos, and then you work on bigger scale. So it made me discover what type of films I like to do and what I'm interested in, which is more genre films, entertaining films, let's say. After that, I tried different hats. I was an assistant camera for a feature film, and I DP'd a couple of films, and then I realized this is not what I want to do, although I have the capability. I want to be more on the directing side, so I started assistant directing. And then for like 3-4 years, I assistant directed while trying to direct my own films, which is forthcoming, came in there. A few music videos came in there. And and now I'm currently always have to step up each project.
So what I hear so far, it sounds beautiful, great, and it's like it's so easy. But I'm pretty sure you went through a lot of hard times.
Of course, there's always hardship.
I want to still go back,
Mhm.
and when you found this passion in you when you were a child, did you feel that you were a different kid than your friends?
Yes, because I lived in a gated community most of my childhood.
Okay.
So the people around, I wasn't like bombarded by friends. I only had like a really good 4 or 5 friends, and they all spoke Arabic, and I mostly spoke English. So it was like a give and take, language-wise barrier. But when it comes to creativity, they always, appreciated it. My friends always appreciated it. They wouldn't make fun. They wouldn't, like, obviously, like if I'm still friends with the same people that I was friends in growing up in Sharjah. That's where I grew up.
Oh, you grew up.
I grew up in Sharjah, yeah.
Okay. But you're from Abu Dhabi.
I'm from Abu Dhabi, yes. I was born in London, came here when I was a year old, and we moved to Sharjah when I was about maybe 10.
Is it because your dad like
My
works?
father, yes, my father. So he was a professor in the University of Sharjah, Allah yarhamah. And he was on TV a lot. He always had a political view that was always sought out for by news channels. So I grew up watching him on TV. And he was very supportive of me, pursuing the filmmaker road, because he understood what went behind the scenes to a certain degree. And my mother, she was also supportive. She's more in the education sector, but she always had an artistic view of films and loved films and watching films. And so the love came from both of them for sure.
So you came from an artistic family, and that is something, that makes it, because I do remember when I wanted to be, actually when I was 13 years old, the first question my dad asked me, what do you want to be? And I said, I wanted to be a director.
Ooh, okay.
But my dad, because I come from a medical, not me, but my family from a medical background. So for them, like, one of their kids being in the filmmaking, it just never happened before. So for them, it's like, what? A director? Like, what? No. And especially you're a girl. I'm a girl. And that is something is unacceptable. And because of tradition, society. Of course, things then changed, when you
الناس
Yeah. Oh my God.
الناس شو بيقولون؟
Oh my God.
صح؟
هذا الشيء يعني
مين الناس؟ بس
شوفوا
أبى أعرف مين الناس عشان
أنا هذا السؤال دائما وينهم؟ وين واقفين عند
المجتمع؟
الباب؟
أي مجتمع؟
I know يعني
كل المجتمع الحين كله الانستغرام ترى.
الحين؟
كل الفضايح موجودة ترى.
يعني كانت الناس حتى تخاف تحط صورها. الحين لا
الحين
يعني عادي. Everybody putting their
لا.
pictures out here and there, it doesn't matter.
بس يعني to be honest, I still got those questions. يعني شو بتسوي في حياتك؟ متى بتدور على وظيفة؟ These questions are always there, although they support إنه okay ابني يعني towards the end of my father's life, Allah yarhamah ويغفر له, he would introduce me to people as, this is my son, the director, my son. Yeah, so I knew that he was proud of what I'd done, in my life. And I'm so happy that he was able to see me succeed to a certain point, Obviously, I would have loved it if he saw me, successful to the where I want to be. But يعني, alhamdulillah, he caught a glimpse of my success towards the past few years.
He's definitely proud.
And
you're the only child from your family who's in the film industry? Taking it after
No, I am the youngest of 5.
Okay.
I have 4 older brothers. Okay. 2 of them studied film in university. One of them continued to work in TV. He worked in Dubai TV, and he was the person I looked up to when it came to filmmaking, and he was an inspiration for me for sure. But yes, currently I am the only one still in the film industry, and I'm the only one that has given it my all. Like,
100%
100% full-time filmmaking. And there's ups and downs, and the negative aspect of it, to be honest, is it's such a specific role that finding a comfortable, constant income of a full-time job is more difficult than if I had studied anything else. You know, mass communication, PR, engineering, business administration, anything. I would find a job like this. Yani. Obviously now it's harder because of the times, but my skills are so specific that I have to either freelance or do my own thing, and alhamdulillah, like it's working out. Yani. The road was narrow and tough to start with, especially that I worked with, you know, low budget and zero budget, and then you know, the road becomes bigger and more clear, alhamdulillah.
But I want to go back to the Bumpy Road.
Okay.
And I want to know, because we're considered as local talents, and you know, most of the production houses over here, they'd rather to have talents who are not based in here because they have this misconception.
Misconception.
Yes.
عقدة.
We can't do, yeah, exactly.
It's a عقدة.
عقدة
الخواجة. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
it still happens to this day. To this day. Like one of the recent projects I worked on, they brought a director of photography from France to come shoot an Abu Dhabi promo. Now, yani, mind you, he was amazing. He was fantastic.
Definitely. But
okay, but still, there are director of photographies that are based here in the UAE that could give you just the same. But it's the thought of, oh, جبنا واحد من برا أكيد أحسن من الموجودين هني. بس come on guys, احنا we're in 2021.
Exactly.
You know, there are people who could give just as much and more. Start using people from inside.
Yeah.
Lazim.
But you know, I think there's other matters as well, or factors actually, that even if they're trying to hire local talents, unfortunately, the pay is way less than someone that they're bringing from abroad. Although they can do the same job. But
and this has happened also, you know?
Yeah.
Writers that they bring from outside get paid 200, 300K. Writers from inside, 30 to 50. Like, it's such a big jump.
Yeah.
It's such a big jump. And we should be putting more money in people that are here so they can work more and get more experience and we can, you know?
I think they need to believe.
Yeah.
They have to have this faith in the local talents because
Absolutely.
they can do the job. I've seen how much, like you're one of them. I was, to be honest, not because you're there, but whenever someone asked me, like, do you know an sister? It's like, yeah, I know. That was before, you know. I was like, yeah, I know Aiham. He's really good. He's really cool. Like, I was so comfortable on set. I was like, this guy knows his craft. You know, he knows what he's doing. And I felt that actually I'm dealing with someone who's coming from abroad. So, but he's actually local.
Do you know what? Because I put myself at the bottom first. I put myself at the bottom. Like I did PA, PM, AD, second AD, directing. Like I climbed the ladder. Although, like, unfortunately, I had the chance to just jump to أنا مخرج straight away. And people do it.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot.
They shoot one thing with their camera, أنا مخرج.
خلاص.
Even when I was directing, I considered myself an aspiring director. يعني ما أسمي نفسي مخرج لين ما أخرجت. يعني enough things to be like, guys, I am a director. I know my craft.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I do get this a lot. They ask me, are you a director? No, I'm not a director. But if I'm going to be, I'm doing my own shows until I make sure that, yes, I'm ready to go out there. I love acting. This is my first passion. And I say, no, I'm not calling myself a director. I still need to learn a lot.
Of course. And the learning never stops.
Yeah, exactly. I started now, directing my own shows because it's my show. Yeah. You know, it's my show. I don't have to direct for anyone else. I'm not ready for it. I said maybe later, 5 years, 6 years, I don't know, but no. It's unfortunate, yes. It's how a lot of talents embellish their credits, you know. So going back to the difficulties being as a local talent. When I say local talent, it means based in the UAE. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, you know, as long as you're, especially us, born and raised here, the love of filmmaking but trying to prove that you can do the job. I want to know how you were able to prove yourself that you can direct, you can do this job. I know there was a lot of difficulties that you faced.
You know, as an artist, self-doubt is always there, and it's never going to stop till now, you know.
That's where I'm asking, how it's so difficult. Our industry is really hard.
Of course.
And being a local talent, even your parents from an artistic background and stuff, how you were able to get in there? Like, what did you do? Did you have self-doubt is a definite thing?
What I did was, I did the thing that I loved, and I couldn't do anything else. And I kind of went with the flow of my life, aiming towards what I loved, which was filmmaking.
Did you ever have this moment that you wanted to give up? No, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me have a 9-to-5 job, steady income.
All the time. Because the thought of steady income is such a comfort that, you know, it's the easy way out, you know, and to have that option always constantly there, you know. Sometimes, yes, I say, okay, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm going to get an office job, and because the most difficult part of it is the finance, the income. Let's be honest, because we don't have an industry per se. We have people who are trying to make a movement, who are showing the world that yes, we can do it, but, you know, for you to create and then distribute and then have profit is not available in this country yet, you know, unless you do it a low budget and then spend money on the marketing, and then you're tricking people saying that this movie is so good, and then it comes out to be so bad, but you're making money. And that's not what I'm about. You know, I want to create quality. I want to create entertainment. I want me to watch it and say, I liked what I did, you know? And that's why it takes so long for me to release something. But when I do, the satisfaction is off the roof. Off the roof.
So what do you think about these commercial Emirati movies that is coming out? And there's a lot of...
Such as?
I can't bring names.
Okay, I can't bring names either.
No names.
Okay.
But I mean, in general, do you think it will affect, like, other filmmakers who has a different kind of a genre, different goals? Like, because some of them for commercials.
Unfortunately,
for
yes. Like,
festivals.
when I ask my Emirati friends what Emirati movies they watched, and then their answer is usually is, I don't watch Emirati films. I've watched this one film, but it wasn't good. You know, I'm not watching. Unfortunately, it's quality over quantity was a thing before, and I think that was what they needed at that point in time to make a lot of things so the industry can like get a jump start. But people are stuck with the quality, and the quality is not that great. And now they think that any Emirati film doesn't have that quality. Obviously,
some Emirati films
there are,
quality.
of course, there are those selective directors that, you know, get the funding that it needs for the film to come out the way it does. And that's another point, that it has to have certain funding for it to be that of high quality, and not just a bunch of content creators creating a film
which is not wrong, but
it's another way, you know. It's another way, and there's no right or wrong way, but in the end it's the film and its quality, You know, that's what's the most
So
important.
how do you see as well when it comes that you want to develop your own show, whether it's a series, a movie, short,
Okay.
feature, and when it comes to funding it,
Mm.
do you think this is quite? Is it still challenging?
Of course.
Is it improving?
Slowly.
It is improving.
Slowly, yeah. There are more and more entities that give out funding for films around the UAE.
I'd love to know.
Sharjah Art Foundation.
That's more into short films, I'd say.
No, they have a feature film format.
But that's for festivals.
It's
More
to create a film.
Okay.
Rather for festival or non-festival. Like obviously, whatever film you create is going to go in the festival circuit before you know it hits cinemas. AdMaf, Imagination, NBC, Shahid, OSN, all these places, Netflix, Mina.
Yeah.
The problem is getting to them is the problem. Finding a contact there is the problem. But once you have that contact, there is a possibility for it to happen.
There's a possibility, but there's always, of course, there's rules into like what sort of the story and what you need to do. We have high potential in here.
Of course.
Local talents in terms of storytelling. When I say storytelling, I mean it's like script writing.
Gotcha.
And I think there's a lot of great stories out there.
Yeah, there are.
Like I had an incident the other day when I had a meeting to propose my show, the series that I was telling you about. Okay, all right. So I think they're gonna ask you the first thing is one of the OTT platforms, which I don't want to mention names. Like who are the writers, and where are they from? And I said, if I am writing a story about the UAE or there, I can't have a writer from abroad to come and tell me the story.
Of course.
Because it's going to be adopted according to his culture, not according to her culture, whatever, not to us.
Of course, yeah.
And that's another difficulty that we're facing.
Look, when it comes to writers here, I believe that writers are not only writers. They like to be writers and directors or writers and producers. And what makes you as a writer is if you sit down 5 to 7 hours a day and you're constantly writing. There are people that are like that here, but unfortunately they don't have an opportunity to get their stuff made because the trust of writers is not available for script writers here in the UAE, unfortunately.
Do you think because of the story?
No, I don't think it's because of the story, because there are some great stories out there. And I'm not sure where the missing link is between the script writers and the producers that get the stuff made. But like I said, it's not an industry where, you know, like I could say for in America, you know, where a writer writes, sells the script, and then the script gets developed, you know. It's always a writer who wants to direct it, you know, or a writer that doesn't want to sell their script. They want to be there.
But do you think this is the wrong thing? I think there's a lot of, as well, abroad writers, and then they direct because, or they act what they write, you know?
Showrunners, yeah. No, there are. Look, I'm not saying it's wrong. Bil'aks, you know, if there's a person, a writer who writes and he writes or they write a part for them that they see themselves doing, by all means, go ahead. Sylvester Stallone. The biggest,
That's a great example.
Yeah, is the biggest example of that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about as writers in the industry, you know.
Being just writers, focus on that.
Focus on writing, focus on the craft, focus on structure, and, you know, working on the script to make it, you know, a successful script, which is there is a formula, you know.
I encountered in one of my meetings, the problem is as well, one of the factors, that the story itself, I mean, they have a lot of great stories, but they have this fear of proposing the story to producers or executive producers because, because thinking that this is not going to make them money. Or because it's too fantasy, you know, it's a fantasy story. there will be a lot of budget or high
Mm,
budget for that.
mm.
You can't do this. And I think that's one of the reasons as well.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that's why you see a lot of contents repeated,
Of course.
repeated stories.
Mhm.
But I believe recently there are some shows that we see now on TV that is
Now,
like, it's
yes.
getting different. It's
Yeah.
becoming- okay, that's a
They're
different
becoming
story.
more daring.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
If you recall, a lot of them that was produced by one of the renowned TV channels.
Mm,
And the audience was against that because of many reasons, religious reasons, whatever, but they broke the stereotype.
mm,
And then now it's acceptable.
mm.
But that's the problem with a lot of writers are afraid to show these stories because thinking that, oh, it's not commercial enough, it's not allowed, it's taboo.
Not accepted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, yes, there is a kind of blockade of what you can and can't do. But my advice would always be do it, and then when you reach to a point where it's a problem, just change that problem. And I know that, like, yes, there was a TV show that came down, and religiously people didn't accept it, and even like the channel entity had to increase its security because of all the death threats. But in the end, what happened? It's an accepted show, and it's wonderfully done.
even the stars in it, they were not famous, but they gave them the chance, which is a great thing. But unfortunately, what's happening now, there's a lot of shows coming up, repeated actors, the same actors.
They want to stay safe. Yeah, they want to stay safe.
That's an issue. Although now what we see on Amazon and Netflix and HBO, and they're producing all these new shows with totally new actors. Even if they're not new actors, they're not known. And you know what? It's about the story. And that's why it becomes successful.
Yes.
I think we lack this thing, is that we're not believing most of the shows that has been produced just for the actors, just because this actor is famous, so he's going to sell, but it's not the story. And that's why there's a lot of stories, they come out lame. So you think about that, like actors, like there's great actors in here.
Well, like, let's go deep into the reason why. Like, these TV shows that we're constantly talking about, when do they get released?
Oh, the marathon, Ramadan marathon.
Ramadan. And what are the target audience of people who sit down and actually watch TV while eating? What are their ages?
Well, mostly families.
Families.
Yeah.
And families with older generation.
Yes,
So the format of the stories that are coming out have been the same format for the past 20 years because this is what they believe works for that target audience. But in reality, there's the newer generations that are open, and there's so much opportunity for new content to be created in a new structure for the new generations, but that doesn't happen. They want to bring the same format, the same kind of stories, drama, comedy. Yeah? And that needs to change.
I know.
That needs to change.
But it's great that now they're coming up with all these platforms, online platforms, that they're showing all these new shows. But I still believe they're still lacking the idea of you can still cast new faces, new actors.
Absolutely.
And it's the story. It's not about this actor is going to sell this for you, which is, unfortunately, this is what's happening with TV channels, not online platforms. That was I was facing when I was, pitching for my idea of the show, and they're like, "Oh, you're playing the character." I was like, "Yeah, obviously that's why I'm creating the show, But I still believe there will be a chance. We've known stories like this before. But what do you think is the best solution for us over here? Is that to have regulations in terms for pricing, in terms of hiring talents? Do you think that this thing is still? Is it improving? Is it?
From what I know, that there is a momentum to kind of help freelancers in getting paid on time, and this is something very positive for the industry.
Oh, recently it's happening?
Yes, it's going to happen, inshallah. I heard from the grapevines that.
Please tell me we're stopping with the 30 days.
That's the plan, because some projects they don't pay you till 6 months to 1 year later.
For talents.
For talents, for freelance, for crew, for whatever the purpose is, right? But other than that, I think that there was a big movement between Image Nation and NBC, who owns Shahid, which is an online platform for Arab content, and that will open doors to creating modern films, modern scripts, modern shows, and it's like a slow shift. You know, you're hearing about one show that was shot here in Abu Dhabi, one show that was done here, one show that's done there, and hopefully that keeps on accumulating. And you know, as that grows, the younger director grows, the director becomes, you know, and it's going to be constant. And inshallah, it'll be a film ecosystem.
That's great.
That's the plan.
That's
yeah.
great news. If you weren't a director, did you have any other dream than just being a filmmaker?
Yes, sure. There's a couple.
Okay.
One of them is try to guess it. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning, Abu Dhabi. This is Aiham Al
way.
Subaihi coming from radio. Blah blah.
Oh my God.
I've always wanted to be one of those radio hosts,
Yeah.
VJs, DJs, whatever you call them.
You still have a chance. You can still do that.
No, I chose my career path, and I'm
That's it.
sticking
You're
to it.
focusing
Yeah,
on
I'm
that.
focused. I'm not, going left or right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that always seemed something I could do, and that was fun. And the word fun has to be incorporated in what I do. Otherwise, I won't do it.
So that's the question. Here comes the question about how much do you scale on a scale of 1 to 10 on a fun basis?
On a fun basis.
Yeah.
Does that mean number one is sitting at home and with no TV,
Okay.
and number 10 is, I don't know, skydiving?
Okay.
That's 1 in 10, right?
Yeah.
I would say it's an 8.
Okay.
It's an 8 for me. I love it. I love the fact that once we start filming, I'm like a horse with the covers, so I don't see left and right, and I just see what needs to be done, and I enjoy that. And it's 12 hours, so it's definitely long and it's difficult, but it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. What's not fun is the scheduling and the pre-production aspect of it, where it's very, organizational skills, which I have to do. You have to do it, but definitely production is the most fun. And then even post and editing, that's where you bring it to life, and I love that. Yeah, so 8.
It is. So do you think this is something that you'll keep doing till the rest of your life, or do you have other dreams in the future?
Look, I'm going to do it and keep doing it till I'm not able to do it anymore for whatever reason. And then when I stop doing it, I'm going to teach it. Because I already give mentorship at least once or twice a year for different entities, Emiratis and even non-Emiratis, depending on what entity it is. Just to teach them about filmmaking and directing and try to spark that, passion if it is within them. So definitely at some point future in my life, I will teach this.
Inshallah. So you want your kids as well to be...
No, my kids have their own...
We don't have babies yet, but...
No. Inshallah, my future kids... Yeah, alhamdulillah. My future kids are, able to follow their own path, whatever that may be. Hopefully it's not ballet. I won't say no, but
unless she's a girl, if she wants to be in ballet.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm talking about boys. Yeah.
Have you ever thought that marriage could be an obstacle for your career?
Before I got married, I would say maybe. I have to start working and providing and blah 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 blah. But honestly, my marriage has been nothing but a blessing and a push for my career. In terms of wanting bigger for myself and better for myself, so it could reflect on my family.
That's great.
And my wife, alhamdulillah, Wahida, she's very supportive of what I do. And she's kind of in the industry, and if we're talking about creative culture side, And yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I've always seen her on pictures with you, and then, like, she seems lovely, and inshallah, I will meet with her soon. Definitely,
Inshallah, yes.
inshallah. I think we're ending this now.
Okay.
It was a great interview.
It was my pleasure, honestly.
I wouldn't say it's an interview. I would say
It was
it's
just a سوالف.
سوالف.
بين ربع.
بالضبط.
Exactly.
But as usual, كل حلقة I give something to my guests to remember سوالف with Meral.
Okay.
So it's a little surprise.
Oh, is that what that bag
Yes.
is?
So
Okay.
you can take it out and
Oh, I like surprises. Ooh. Look at that. Swalif with Meral. Action. I like the little action.
Action.
Hey.
Look at that.
Hey. Oh,
All over.
Oh, yeah. A little 360
So
going
you
on.
can give that to your wife.
It's pink, so I definitely will. And
Imagine
I'm sure she'll love it.
generating-
She'll constantly drink coffee from it, and it's a perfect
That would be
size.
nice if you give it, like, you drink with that on Instagram or something. Look at that.
With the
Drinking
pinky up.
Swalif. Yes, with the pinky.
Swalif with Meral. Malay films. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is a pleasure.
This is great.
And I had fun. It was actually a lot of fun.
I'm happy that you really
and a lot
had
of
fun.
coffee. Yeah. I feel like I went through all stages of coffee where you get the energy and then you get the
You have
crash
to
all
cool
in the
down
same.
every minute, you know. But yeah, that's great,
it's
and
wonderful.
definitely we'll meet each other again.
Yes.
Work,
Yes, inshallah.
inshallah,
Inshallah.
and good luck with anything
Thank
you're
you, and
doing.
you too.
I can see that you have a bright future
Thank you very much. Thank
because you are optimistic.
you.
You're great on set. I
Thank
can
you.
tell that, and that's why if any of my shows, definitely I want you as a director.
I'm ready. I'm here.
Yay!
I'm ready.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And remember, try Ora coffee. Ora coffee.
Auro.
Auro coffee.
Thank you for coming.